Hello there, everyone. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, July 28th. It's a market has closed, at least during those normal trading hours when you can trade options. The market is closed for the day, and I want to do a little discussion about some stocks. We're finally in front of, or we are once again finally in front of Wi-Fi and proper connection, so we can really go over all the stocks we like to talk about in a dynamic fashion by looking at them in this file, which is a Google Sheets file that uses a lot of formulas that are called Google Finance formulas up here. These allow you to do really cool things like query stocks and look at different trends over different periods of time. You can look over things more than just 90 days. You can make it entire year. You can make it just 30 days, and these charts are going to change dynamically here. And then we can really dig into one stock at a time, which is what we're going to do today. So this file, not only does it allow you, this link really to this live Google Sheets file, not only does it allow you to do this, but it also allows you to query as many stocks as you can really fit in here. There was a period in time when I had, I think, everything at a snapshot in time that was on both the NASDAQ and NYSE. Those are the two that I was tracking. There's 3,000 something companies. It would take a while to load, but it still would work. And you can turn around and sort all this stuff. And there are going to be some errors that don't always populate, but sometimes they'll fix themselves. Or these companies may have gone out of business or become delisted for a flurry of reasons, and so I'll go through this periodically and update that as well. But a lot of the big companies that we track are going to be on that list all the time because they're big companies. So let's talk about today, for example. Today, here in the master file where we grab all this information, we can sort by a few different things to look at the stocks that we track. This is the main look with the main companies that I care about. I'll get into them later in the video. Let's talk about something else we can do with this file that kind of shows you a pulse of the market and where things went up the highest amount. What kind of companies did that? And it's fun to see this because a lot of these are companies you'd never want to invest in. It's a complete gamble and a lot of heavy trading here, like this INFI, Infinity Pharmaceuticals. They're going to have a really low market cap. So, for example, let's grab these 10 companies and look at what they look like today in this file that really opens up and shows you what happened. It takes a second to load, but when it does, we talk about this Infinity Pharmaceutical thing. Over the last 30 days, they're way down. Over the last year, they had a weird spike. They're all over the place. So this kind of move in a microcap company where 188% of the company was traded on today. That means that more than almost $400 million, I believe, went back and forth in terms of trading. That screams of market. I don't want to say the word market manipulation because that might carry with it a legal connotation. I'm not necessarily going to say that, but I will say that it means that a lot of people decided to direct a few $100 million at this company today. It might not have even been a lot of people. It could have been few people. People decided to direct twice what this company's worth at trading the stock back and forth today. When you see that, it is not a sign that this is a company you want to be with long term because this is weird. Same thing here with support.com. Also small market cap. Also a ton of trading at 139%. As you can see, some weird stuff going on with the support.com. I haven't looked into it yet, but I just based on that trading, I don't like it. It screams difficult. I don't like it. Not predictable. So a lot of these companies that are going to be up on this list, is there anything reasonable? Flagstar, they've got more of a reasonable market cap. They had a reasonable day, but good. So there's probably some news on Flagstar, Bangkok, or something. We could get into that, but anyway, it's an example. I wanted to show you kind of the different things you can see. Companies that went up the most. What about companies that went down the most? Let's try those guys. And let's see what they look like. Cheesecake Factory took a huge hit. Why is that? People are not going back to the restaurant. It's funny with the Cheesecake Factory because I thought that they were going to have a lot of trouble, and getting back to normal did not mean that everyone goes back to the Cheesecake Factory, because their food just, it feels like it comes out of a refrigerator and just gets heated up in a microwave for 5 minutes. Even though they've got a menu that's longer than the Bible, I still don't think that all those physical locations is the way that the world works now. People kind of like ordering food and eating somewhere else. I'm not surprised they take a huge hit, down 13% down, and they probably reported earnings recently or something. I'm just guessing. Other companies, these are a lot of small companies. Humana takes a hit. Now, that's interesting. I do wonder what's going to happen to the health insurance industry, because it seems like there's a palpable desire for universal health care, not only from the populace, but also just from all facets of the industry. We'd all rather to have more predictable paying schedules, more predictable health care. Once you start adding robotics and a lot of automated testing and monitoring and things that you can do remotely now when it comes to healthcare, I'm starting to think the old traditional insurance company is really, really going to be in trouble, because we're going to need a type of single base system where we all have a base level of American healthcare if you're here. Kind of like Canada. If you're in Canada, you're a resident in Canada, you just go places. It's not something you worry about. I think that Americans are ready for that too. So I would expect to watch out for these health insurance companies if there's some talk that I don't know about going on in Congress, maybe to do something about this, because that would hurt them. As you know, I've always said there's no reason why this industry has to exist. Private healthcare insurance doesn't have to be a thing. Like their business model is to make a profit on if you're healthy. Make a profit if you don't go to the doctor and have anything serious done. But if you do need care, they're going to take a loss on you, and they're not going to want to insure you. So it's an industry where there is a market deficiency, and there's a negative externality. These are economics terms coming at you. Negative externality that is created from the private health insurance industry, and that is sick people not getting treated and making the rest of the public sick too, because they can't get treated. That applies to mental illness, that applies to physical illness, that applies to pathological and viral infections. It applies to all those things where you can possibly spread it to other people when you don't get proper treatment. So watch for health insurance companies to eventually take a hit, because we don't need them, if you think about it. Anyway, that's my dissertation on health insurance for the day. Let's talk about the companies that we actually care about and some actual financial or options advice, because I will be doing some day trading. I hurt my foot. I'm kind of laid up. No more walking on the beach for me. I got a bruised foot that needs some rest. So I'm going to be paying a lot of attention on my backside, watching my backside, and watching watching the stocks for the rest of the week and into next week. So what does that mean? Well, it's pretty easy. The file here is telling you what it thinks the best 10 deals are available according to my notes and my target prices here. This is saying that we think Tesla's the best deal on the board. We think that they're going to hit 700 in the near future, within the next quarter. That's what that really means. For the next quarter from when I put that note there, right? Really, I've been talking about them hitting 700 since the beginning of the month or something. So you could really do it like that and say that they, but sometime before September, really, they're supposed to be getting to 700. So that's an interesting strike price option, a call option to purchase on them. That's going to be extremely expensive though. That's going to be probably like $10,000 or something. It's probably, or $5,000 at least, because they fluctuate so much that it's possible if you buy an option that goes out to like September, mid to late September, that it'll be thousands of dollars. So it's out of my budget range for right now as well. So that kind of option, take a look at how they've been doing. Let's look over the last, we're talking about a quarterly option, so let's talk about 90-day periods of time, which is about a quarter, and what these companies are going to do. You can see that Tesla has pretty much traded flat to down over the last 90 days. If you look even further, you'll see that we're all the way up here at some point. But, where are they going to go from here? There's always a lot of fighting with this company between the shorts and the longs, the people that think they're going to go up and the people that think they're going to go down. And that creates these really high peaks and troughs all over the place. So they're They're a stressful company to purchase options in, but they also pay great when you catch them on the upswing. So it's certainly something to think about having, but I'll say let's pass on that for now because it's too expensive for what we want. Other things. Now here's Microsoft is a very good option. Now take a look at this here. 90 days you've got just climbing Mount Everest, really. How about the last year? You're going to see something similar. I mean, they really don't drop too much. They don't scare you too much. So purchasing a long call option on Microsoft at $300 is also going to cost you some money, but it's not nearly going to be as much as Tesla. A $300 call option for out in September or something for Microsoft is probably only going to cost you like $1,500. Maybe not even, maybe like $1,200 to $1,000. I haven't looked, but that's much more reasonable, and it's something to think about because they're entwined in all of our lives. They're needed. They're fighting ransomware, fighting all these things. These are a Microsoft-related problem in many ways, and we have to support them, and we need their help, and they need our help. So they're going to continue to go up, just like a company like Google Alphabet down here, which went down a little bit today. This is another one. I mean, look at that great trend line. This is a very calming trend line if you're purchasing long call options in a company like this, because they just don't dip that hard, that fast, that much. They just kind of do a lot of this. So that's a good one. Walmart too, but you can see Walmart is a little flatter. They're just flatter. Actually, they had some downtime, so maybe Walmart's due to get to that 145 or 150, but they're much, much slower movers, so they're almost not enough energy. Your Intuitive Surgical, I think they're going to get to 1,000. That also won't be that expensive to pick up a $1,000 call option because they've had such a rise. They're going to continue going. Their profits were good, fine. You've heard me talk about Sherwin-Williams in the previous videos. Looks like they traded flat today. Just give them time. There's a lot of good news that comes from them. So, all right. So, last thing we're going to talk about the one in this video for today. So, going into tomorrow, what do you do with Moderna? Well, Moderna has another amazing day today after a hit yesterday. Look at that drop. That's yesterday's drop right there. And then today it's not listed on this chart. This chart doesn't include today. So it doesn't have that up to like right there, right? So they're now at 350 almost. Okay? They've now hit, which is why they're down on the list in order. They're all the way down in 9th place or 8th place because they've hit this again. So expect there to be some profit taking on Moderna again, because you got to remember they went from $200 a share. And take a look at their chart. I mean, look, it's quite. Let's put them up here for a second and really expand out, because they've done some very interesting things as people realize what's going on here. And something I wanted to talk about. So I want to talk about them last in the video. So if you look at them over the last year, this is just. I mean, look at this, and then here people realize some things, and here people realize some things, and then here people really realize some things. And what they're realizing is that molecularly attacking viral binders and basically doing your own molecular Lego set to come up with the proper targets, I guess they call them, for the viruses and stuff, for what they're going to be putting together as they produce this mRNA, which is messenger RNA. The way it gets into the cell, the way it really our human body deals with it appropriately, like our human body is meant to work on the molecular level, and we're now finding a way to use that molecular level, that tiny way, and construct on that at that dimension that we can do things we never thought possible. So that's why you're seeing just astonishingly huge growth and it not dropping that much. That being said, having a day like today where they go 6.5% up, they're gonna take. There's going to be profit taking again, because the powers that be are going to continue to just, look at how can you not see some profit taking on this line? Look at this line over the last 30 days. I mean, I was talking about buying Moderna options before this, but if you had listened to me and you had held them during this period of here, this is, you can't even climb a mountain like this without poles and chisels and locks and stuff. You can't do that with this. This is unbelievably steep. So when you see something like this, they're absolutely, and then today right here, right, you absolutely have to see some profit taking, because There is no downside to profit taking for those that have held it this long. You know why? Because just like you and me, whoever's watching this video, you understand that this company is going to keep going up, because guess what keeps happening? People keep getting sick with stuff, and people keep dying. And if you have a way to prevent that, anyone's going to pay anything they can to get it. So that's why there is no problem with funding, with anything with this company. They are technically sound. They're leading the way, and other companies like Pfizer are trying to emulate exactly what they're doing, but they pioneered it, and it's a special way of doing things. And when you understand it, you understand why this curve is doing what it's doing, and why the profitability here and the market value of this company, they're at 140 billion right now. Here, I called it today on Wednesday, July 28th. Moderna will be over $1 trillion company within the next 5 years for sure. Probably within the next 2 years. And there's a chance they'll be there within the next 1 year. All right, which would mean that their stock price would be well over 1,000. Their stock price would be almost 2,000 a share, I think, at that point, to get them to $1 trillion market cap. Why is that going to happen? It's going to happen because they have a head start on the proprietary way that they're doing this, and everybody is going to want to license it from them and do it, and they are going to be the juggernaut of molecular healthcare. That's why. Everything that I've seen come out of them and how their product, I got the 2 shots of Moderna. That's the one I wanted. I chose, and I wanted that one because they know what they're doing. So really, even though I don't think it's a good day to buy an option in Moderna tomorrow, because they just had the spike and they're probably going to go down a little bit tomorrow. This is nuts. But they also might continue to go up. You're going to see a curve with them that we're not used to seeing, because this is a revolutionary type company. And it's an economy changer. It's a healthcare changer. You start to see the headlines about, vaccines are starting to be mandated in places, or everybody wants to make sure we're vaccinated, because what's showing up in the hospitals and getting really sick is unvaccinated people. So you're giving your defense and your immune system a leg up and some knowledge to beat the virus with stuff like this. It's worth limitless money. I mean, you got to ask yourself what kind of value you put on human life. That's how you start to realize how to value a company like Moderna. And so in that sense, you should buy an option in them tomorrow, even though I'd wait a day and have them probably drop down to, if you see them drop down to like 325, 330 or something, you absolutely grab it. Why not? That's what happened today, essentially, or yesterday. They did that and it went right back up. So, all right, that's the update for the day. Good luck, everyone. May all your trades be winning. Let's go Moderna for the health of everyone. Let's go Tesla for the health of everyone. Microsoft, Sherwin-Williams, all these companies. I like everything all these companies do. Why is Dollar Tree on here? Dollar Tree is on here because they're everywhere. They're like Sherwin-Williams of dollars. I'll do a little quick. They went down a little bit. They're fine. Every kid wants to go to the Dollar Tree. There's a Dollar Tree or a Family Dollar. Actually, I should look at both companies and not just one. They're all over the place. And you put the word dollar in your title, people go walk into your store. That's the way it works. All right. Good luck, everyone. Now your trades be winning.